My girlfriend said I would never build anything out of the scrap wood I have lying around. And because I'm definitely not a toxic boyfriend, I'm going to prove her wrong. Because that is what a mature, non-toxic boyfriend would do. #resist. Well, I'm just kidding. Not about the toxic boyfriend part, but about her not believing in me. See, at the end of 2024, I finished my bachelor degree in Germany. And like most Germans, I studied business. Exciting, I know. And after finishing it, I really needed a break. I wanted to try things, be creative, and find my path in this weird world we live in. And that's when I started doing really random things. From one day to the next, I started woodworking, and then, just to make it even weirder, I started beekeeping. See, I think most people would probably leave at that point, when your boyfriend suddenly is learning everything there is to know about bees and starts spending hundreds of euros on woodworking tools. Most people would probably be like, "You got issues. Bye now." But she stayed. She not only is my #1 supporter, but funnily enough, also has made a lot of this possible. You'll see what I mean soon. Recently, I finished a desk for my first ever customer. I had a bit of scrap wood left over, dark blue and grayish pieces. It was wood which my customer didn't like and asked me to remove from his desk. I actually really liked that wood. I'd already built some tall standing coasters from these scraps, so I knew it would look cool. I glued the wood scraps together, not in a clean, square way. They stick out like the desk I had built. But trust me, this coffee table is going to be way different. I'm not sure if there's actually any woodworker on this earth that enjoys glue-ups. You have to work fast, the glue dries too quickly, and if you clamp it wrong, you warp the whole thing. This one, though stressful as it was, went okay. I always scrape off as much glue as possible before it dries, because sanding dried glue later is a nightmare. When it was dry, I brought this glued up block to my very own self-made router flattening station. May I present it to you? The base is my dad's old desk that has leveling legs now, which are super handy for epoxy resin pours. Then I also have some pieces of my old IKEA bed. Even the metal router sled is from that same bed. Sorry, not sorry, IKEA. As I said before, my girlfriend has actually helped me a lot in my little woodworking journey. A lot of the things you see in my videos used to be hers. Her old desk, now the platform for my table saw with lots of storage. Her old bookshelf, cut into pieces, now part of my miter station. A rusty TV stand that is probably older than me. Now a mobile planer stand and a mobile glue-up station. Oh, and not to mention all the cool jigs I can build using the rest of the wood that isn't wood. Using old furniture in woodworking is extremely useful, especially when you're starting out and broke, like me. Now, as promised, here's how this coffee table gets weird. After gluing everything into one solid block, I cut it again. Seems logical, right? Well, not all of it. I modified my table sled by removing the back fence to get more room. Then ripped the glue block into 4 different sized pieces. You'll see why. Whenever I start a project like this, I like to start from zero and make it unique. I grab random offcuts and imagine, what if they sit on top of each other? What if they don't line up? How could I connect them? It allows me to better visualize the design I want. For this table, I wanted something that doesn't belong. One that makes you react and not just watch. A prototype of the things I want to create. I designed it with huge holes, like as if pieces were missing. A pattern that isn't a pattern. An organized mess held together by wood strips. I routed channels into the blocks where the strips would sit. Since the strips were all different thicknesses, I made my life easy here by thinning these pieces of wood down to the diameter of my straight bit that I used in my router to create those same channels. This took a few tries, but we eventually got there. Then I ripped the strips to the right depth, so they would sit flush with the surface. Because I don't have a lot of clamps, I glued the table in 2 separate halves. And because the blocks sit at angles and weren't parallel, I had to be really careful not to shift anything while routing. Or the channels wouldn't line up, and the strips wouldn't fit, and the entire idea wouldn't work. After gluing up both halves, I cut off the parts sticking out, using my favorite handsaw, the Japanese pull saw. There's something mystical about it. I feel like a majestic samurai, as if I were half Japanese, which I'm unfortunately not. Finally, I was also then ready to connect the tabletop. I repeated the whole process as before, and it turned out pretty cool. But as sailors of the deep blue sea say, there's always calm before the storm. And the storm was coming for me. And my little weird table. How may I put this? You know how I said that I really enjoy the creative process of design and blah 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 blah? I didn't. For the likes. I challenged myself that I would only use the scrap wood of the other project for this project. This turned my life into hell. I tried several different leg designs. I liked a lot of them, but I honestly didn't think they were right for this table. Or stable enough. Because the wood in the scrap wood container was slim, often not more than 3 to 4 centimeters wide. Eventually though, I thought I found a design I liked. I was excited. I was optimistic. But that was my first and final mistake. Because the next day came where I looked at my plan and I just didn't like it at all. Cue in.
Let's actually not do something depressive. Let's do something groovy.
See, sometimes life punches you in the face. You drink your smoothie, get some sunlight, let the good vibes flow, and get back to work. Because we don't give up easy. After getting some inspiration, I settled on a leg design similar to the tabletop. Weird, but stable. I cut off some of the longer scrap wood in half and glued it together. These became the 4 bases for the legs. The difference is that the wood strips that connect the 4 bases won't be flushed this time, and the bases are parallel to each other. And to make my life easier, I used some thickness spacers between each base so all legs would have identical spacing and height. After trimming the strips that was sticking out, I looked at my design and I was actually pretty happy about it. It looked weird, and I liked it. I also routed channels between the legs for stability, but I attached those only at the end for sanding reasons. Let's speak about sanding. I know every woodworker hates sanding. You know what's worse than sanding with an orbital sander? Sanding little gaps by hand from 40 to 240 grit without skipping any grits. Yes, this was pain, especially because I wasn't paid to do it. I chose to build it this way.
These things are called consequences, Mario.
After coating the table with leftover polyfurane, I attached the top base plates for the legs with screws and glued the wood strips onto those base plates. And it was done. Almost. There was once a brave and wise tortoise named Master Uguay who said, "There are no accidents." And I think he's right. I think every mistake we make, every turn we take, or every turn we avoid leads us to us. I'm not religious, but I do think everything will work out. Eventually. I found some very sweet people who are now part of my life, and I'm very happy about that. I don't think this was an accident. I also don't think me beekeeping or becoming a woodworker was an accident. Nor do I think this coffee table was an accident. It all has its place in my life. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.